There it is, 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off, right in front. Another chance, backhand score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air and a Hall of Fame career, 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
2nd and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Hello to all of our BPTV fans, YouTube fans, Facebook fans. We're live in the BPTV studio right here in Bethel Park's Municipal Building. Thank you for watching us. Special thanks. We had a great night of boxing at the Priory Grand at the Priory Hotel. We accumulated 18. We have now 188 subscribers to Pittsburgh Sportsline on YouTube. Go there and give me 2 more. Let me hit 190. So Pittsburgh Sportsline, just go there, subscribe, and then come back. For anybody on Facebook, want to tell you this, I'm very proud. We just hit a brand new high, 7,119 likes. So that's our new high. Get one more like, we'll hit 20 there. Come on. All right, Chief McElroy's watching, Ann Harder. Let's rock this, Michael and Marco. Teresa Mariano's watching. Appreciate you. All right, let's see. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Painter, and Mike Rohde is in here with us today. And we're going to go to our promos right now, but I'm going to have 3 promos after we're done that I got to do. We didn't get that put in for this week, but we got 3 more promos. So Marco and Mike, do those promos in 10 seconds.
Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, presents Coliseum Combat Zone Pro and Amateur Fights at the All-American Fieldhouse in Monroeville on Saturday, June 29th. Contact Al Levine if you'd like to participate in these fights or if you'd like to receive spectator tickets. A donation to the National Kidney Foundation will be made at all Coliseum Combat Zone events.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey Strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization.
The Pittsburgh Police present Biscuits Bingo on Saturday, April 6th at Salvador's Event Center. Doors open at 10 a.m. The $60 ticket includes a pasta buffet that opens at 11:30, then 16 regular games and 4 special bingo games, which all begin at 12:30. Bring a pet food item to donate and qualify to play a special bingo game. Use the link below to purchase tickets. Proceeds benefit all these pet-focused organizations.
The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. All right. Hope you enjoyed those promos. I got 3 promos for you. And we got Chance on the camera here. Control room, get that picture that Chance is putting up there. This is Designer Bag Bingo. It's a charity for the library. And can we pull that up? There you go. You can read it better than I can. I got to take a little peek. Sunday, April 14th, 2024. Doors open at 1:30. BP Community Center, 5151 Park Avenue, Bethel Park, 15102. $25 per person. 10-game bingo packet, 3 cards per game. 1 door prize, light snacks, BYOB. Smoking Jim can bring his ginger ale or hard liquor. Additional bingo cards, 50-50. By the way, the Talking Machine is known for selling all the tickets out for 50-50, and I've sold a winner each time we've been there. So think about that.
You do tape it to the bottom?
Never. Never, Chip. We appreciate the humor. Tickets available, Bethel Park Public Library, which is right at 5100 West Library Avenue. We're in the building. It's upstairs. And EV True Value Hardware on 88 there. So check it out and give you one more view of it. Chance was good on the camera. Where are we at, control room? Give us one more shot. There we go. We'll hold that there. It's a great event for a great cause, and these designer bags, I got to read this. Coach, Michael Kors, Vera Bradley, Kate Spade, and more. All right. Now, I got an event for a friend of mine who did a painting of me. He sees different images when you see a person. This Michael Fratangelo, he's come to our show. He's been on Pittsburgh Sportsline shows many times, did him on a Talking Machine show. Go to my Alan Levine, the Talking Machine show page, and in the profile picture, I show the painting he did of me. And he has the Rolling Stone logo with big lips out in the mouth, so he said he saw that when he looked at me, and hence the Talking Machine. Their event is August 16th to September 27th. It's called Refugee, and it's an August 17th opening reception at 7 p.m. They're going to do it from the 16th to the 27th. The 16th is the top opening, and he's got all kind of paint. We'll pull this up. I got to make my man Chance work on this. How's this look, guys? All right, show it here, guys.
Got it.
Chance, you did very well. I got my cut fingernails there like Smoking Jim. We're looking good on that. All right, check out that. As you know, August 16th to September 27th, and that's in Sharpsburg. 1020 North Canal Street, Sharpsburg. All right.
I think you did that one. If you want to go around.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I needed help. Then I got to read this one. Okay. The library has, I know I'm a man, but I grew up with 3 sisters, a mother, have a daughter. Feminine product donation drive. 1 out of 5 teens struggle to afford products. 4 in 5 teen girls have missed class or know someone who has because they can't afford products. 1 in 4 women experience period poverty. 22 million women in the U.S. can't afford feminine hygiene products. Small things make a big impact. Women's History Month, March 1st to the 31st of 2024. Smoking Jim does Black History once a month, and he scouts for women and models all year long. All right, Christine wrote me a little information. Period poverty is real. Period equity should be real too. Menstruating is a basic fact of human existence. Menstrual hygiene products are necessities, not luxuries, and should be treated as such. Unfortunately, food stamps and subsidies under WIC, that's Women, Infants, Children program, that's provided at the state that help with groceries do not cover menstrual products. During the month of March, Women's History Month, the library is collecting feminine hygiene products to be noted to SHIM. There is a collection box near the front desk. Help us make a dent in this period poverty issue. I'm a strong believer in this, and women are the stronger sex. Even though I'm a sports guy, I'll bet on a woman handling anything a man can do plus, like Smoking Jim says. So please help out. Thanks for your time on that. I got another thing. I'll put this up on the screen. And Chance, you got to maybe make sure this is centered, because there's words they can read on here. And, you know, if somebody wants to take a picture of it with your phone or whatever, you could do that. But this is all about what they're doing there. So, and then we got that. Okay, let me flip it, Chance. We got the back page because it continues. I couldn't say all that. I can read it, but we want to talk some sports. All right, thank you. And please donate. Please get the designer bag tickets, $25. It's a great day. You're entertained by the talking machine in between. And Mike Frantangelo has a great studio, and they're in the Sharpsburg. All right, who's watching? Paul Haling watching this amazing show in South Carolina on Facebook Live. Thank you, Paul. Ralph Williams watching. Hello,
That's
guys.
My man.
Yeah, he stole my co-host.
Just borrowed him for a little while.
Peggy Rohde said, "Hi, Al. Enjoying the show from Philadelphia, PA." You know we don't like Philadelphia, but we like
colors.
We like Nick, and well, we don't care about his colors because it's all cheap stuff. I don't know if he even paid for this stuff because it's outrageous. Nick and Peggy Rohde with Mike's cousins, Susan, I'll try to pronounce the name, Strandberg. Diane McCracken, Mary McCracken, Dan McCracken.
All my cousins.
All right.
We got new fans.
Not all my cousins. Quick thing, that's what, 5 of them. There's 32 first cousins on my mom's side alone.
Really?
So that's just a handful.
Wow, we salute all of
We all
you.
grew up together.
Thanks. I'll try
Know
not
them all
to.
very, very well.
I'll try not to talk too bad about Philadelphia, but
Don't worry, I will.
we'll try not to. But I know they have jails in their stadium, so that tells you some of the problems that they do have. But I respect the Eagles and what they've done over the last few years, and we'll just leave it at that. All right, we do What's on Your Mind? Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see Levine. Shout out to our volunteers, Johnny, Chance, and how about Marco had a performance Saturday night, and Friday, Mikey, hooked this up at the Donnybrook. Outstanding. He got to be Rookie of the Year.
Hold it.
Nice
Marco had Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right? Or no, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And Sunday?
No, I'm sorry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I was going to go, but I didn't know how to scan. I had to scan
Well,
for tickets. That eliminated me, brother.
Let me tell you what he has. You ever hear of have the camera on me, alligator arms? And he has what's called deep pockets. So they don't reach in the pocket.
Yeah, but them alligator arms were non-existent at the all-you-can-eat buffet yesterday.
Wait.
They got a little length in them. You know what I mean?
Hey, I got to leave early. I got to do some black show.
Okay, see you later.
I
Get
gotta
out
do
of
some
here.
Black show at
If you don't want to be
8
here, go, bro.
So,
Hold it. Wait, disclaimer. This is not Black History Month. How can you do a black show?
I know. Hey,
Don't they know who you are?
They invited me on, so.
And the reason we disclaim him is whatever he says is not what our opinions or statements are with BPTV or each one of us individuals.
Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine question. Has the Penguins officially been eliminated from the playoffs?
Not yet.
Not quite yet.
Another disclaimer.
I'm just asking.
Another disclaimer. Smoking Jim's my best friend, one of the nicest guys I know. And you'd think he'd be a positive guy, but he's a negative influence around me well over half of the time. And any team that he mentions, it's usually something bad.
I know Pitt's been eliminated.
What did I tell you?
Hey, Al Levine.
Hold it. Breaking news. What'd you think of Duquesne?
Congratulations.
Okay, there we go. Now you can carry on.
Al Levine, the talking machine. I am so disappointed with Pitt. I tell you what, today I talked to a friend of mine, Bill Hillgrove, and Bill Hillgrove told me that the NCAA snubbed Pitt, and the NCAA actually owns the NIT, which I didn't. And he says, so Pitt snubbed them. That sounds like what old geezer would say. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Hey, Smoking Jim, you know Bill Hillgrove's older than you.
Yeah, he's an old geezer.
So he's an old geezer. And you know that everybody...
But I love him. He's the greatest.
Well, do you love your dad? He's older. Do you love your dad?
He's an old geezer.
He's older than you.
They the same age. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. First of all, Pitt wants
Sound is
money.
off. Sound
These
is
players want a bunch of money. And the NIT would have provided some revenue for them, number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they'd have been guaranteed one home game, and all that money could have been used for all these players with their hands out. Number two, go prove to the NCAA by winning the NIT that you're the best team. Al Levine, the talking machine. Kenny Pickett quit on his team, former Pitt guy. Aaron Donald quit on his team. So as far as I'm concerned, for me, Pitt will always be known as Pitt quit. And that's what's on my mind.
Smoking Jim,
Pitt quit.
I got to have a disclaimer
Some quitters.
because when did a Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame Aaron Donald quit?
He took all that money and quit on his 10 years. Not injured, healthy. You
No.
guys got on Barry Sanders.
No, I didn't. But I got to bring up something. You're a black man, right?
That's because he was on my fantasy team.
Yeah. Smoking Jim, one simple answer. You're a black man?
Yes.
Do you know James
he
Brown?
is?
Jim Brown?
I know James Brown.
You know Jim Brown, the
Jimmy
running back?
Brown, yeah.
You know how many years he had in the NFL?
Well, he didn't
He
quit.
had 10 years. He quit.
No, he
went to
didn't.
do movies and do the
he
first.
did movies and they wouldn't let him come back.
No, he
was
quit.
He was
No,
with Raquel Welch. That ain't quitting, brother.
he couldn't come back because he quit.
That ain't quitting.
He quit. You call whatever you want, but he quit. So you can't talk about Aaron
No, I
Donald
can't.
like that.
I can't. That's Pitt.
You even know his dad.
Huh?
You know his dad.
Yeah.
That city just west of Monroe.
Penn Hills.
Yeah. So.
Well,
You knew he had to take a chance to take
It's
it
been a
big.
bad week for Pitt quitters.
Well-
I'm sorry, Mike.
well, Smoking Jim, we disclaim everything he said.
Pitt equals quit.
No, these don't stand for us. He's an entertainer. He's actually funny because he laughs at his own jokes. So that's always good, too. We appreciate it. We're moving on to Chip Hayner. who we can believe the veracity of his statements because
Okay.
he uses facts. With the opinions, we never let the facts get in the way of our opinions except with Smoking Jim. So we'll carry on.
So-
What's on your mind, Chip
Well,
Hayner?
the first thing that's on my mind, and I got to pay tribute to that hat that Jim's wearing. It's all about the Benjamins. But, just to rebut something that Jim said, I don't feel like Pitt quit in the basketball tournament because they chose not to play in the not important tournament, the NIT. But, speaking of quitting, we're going to get to that. But what I want to talk about is an illustrious list of players that I am absolutely sure Smoking Jim is going to agree with me when I say this. And I'll start the list with Jermaine Stevens, Jarvis Jones, Artie Burns, Devin Bush, and Kenny Pickett as first-round draft pick busts
Huey Richardson.
of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Huey Richardson. I stand
Thanks for the
corrected.
assist.
So, Kenny Pickett took his toys, stamped off, and went home. And I believe that karma is going to pay him a visit because he left the opportunity to compete for a starting quarterback position in the NFL to be a career backup. And I do believe that Clipboard Kenny is going to make... did it come out your nose? Is going to make a very
Well, you know what?
large amount of money
The fan is good with putting nicknames on people, so we
carrying
respect
a clipboard.
that.
So
Yeah.
I came up with my own moniker for him. And if he honestly thinks that he's going to get treated better in Philadelphia than he was treated here,
Hold it. Don't incite.
I'm
Don't
not
get Michael's
going
family
to
upset
I'm not going
there.
to trample
They're
on
in Philly.
anything that he's going to talk about. But
I had
Philadelphia
to help there.
has ruined more sports careers than anybody else. And if his wife thinks that she's going to go to Lincoln Field and cheer for her husband while he throws interceptions and incompletions,
Or get sacked.
she's in for a surprise. Karma's going to pay Kenny Pickett a visit, and it'll be fun to watch. But, the Steelers have done some things they've never done before. Honestly, after sitting back and looking at this objectively, thinking about going into next season with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph as your 1 and 2 quarterback, whichever way it fell, and to think that you were going to witness anything better than what we saw last year, kind of was like a fool's dream. And the changes that are made, are they going to work? Are they not going to work? We're going to have to wait and see. Justin Fields, as a starting quarterback, he's 10-28. Russell Wilson won 11 games in the last 2 years. Okay, maybe he threw 26 touchdown passes in one season, which is something that,
Only 8 interceptions, though, too.
yeah, well, you know what? How many of those were at garbage time when his team was already down and losing the game? So
Probably 80%.
Yeah, you have to, everything, you just can't look at straight statistics.
It weighs out.
It
the
weighs,
scale.
it weighs out.
Yeah.
But I applaud what the Steelers are doing. There is reason for optimism. Question I have for Smoking Jim. We took an inside linebacker from one of our divisional rivals, Patrick Queen. Your thoughts about that pickup? 3 years, $41 million.
He's the black Andy Russell, and I say that because he's never been hurt in high school, he never been hurt in college, never been hurt in the pros. The best ability is availability. This is a guy who at LSU
See, he can
ran
be a
a
true
4.40
It's hard.
at times. This is a tackling
Hopefully they hear
machine. He
me
got the
talking.
right mentality, and I tell you what, you put anybody next to TJ Watt, and they just get 100% better. So I love it. I love the pick.
So you think that maybe now, after how many years, they finally found the replacement for Ryan
Too many.
Yeah,
Shazier?
finally.
Too many years.
You know,
Yeah,
Too many.
finally.
because they've been struggling to find that
Yeah.
the player of that capability. And I think of all the moves that were made last week, that's the move that I like the best because I believed that the Steelers needed help in the middle. And the one player who was injured last year, he's not going to be ready when the season starts. You know, he may be ready come mid-season, and that should be a nice complement of inside linebackers to go with their bookends.
Good point. Chip, I think they've been watching our show for 2 years because we've been asking for this.
sir. Yes,
like,
sir.
I have to interrupt and go on the record. A lot of friends were shocked that I said they should not pick Kenny Pickett in the worst draft for quarterbacks because he had a good career. And I said it was a 5-year career, and he only beat Danny Marino because he had 5 years and Danny only had 3 years. So don't compare him to Danny Marino. And I also said I thought he peaked out in college, which we've seen it, all of us that have played sports here. Some guys peak out at a younger age, middle age, and old age, and that happens.
Well, you know, it's good to see that the arrogance of Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers organization was humble enough to admit they made a mistake, and they did something about it.
Well, here's the great part about it. Everybody's Smoking Jim said Omar Khan doesn't know football. He made these trades.
Well, you know, it was a management decision.
With help, but I mean with his management,
but
they quieted Tomlin down with Kenny Pickett's our starter.
What he does know how to do better than anybody, make them all fit under the cap.
Yes, sir. Capologist.
Well, this proves, Smoking Jim, like I said, even you know football because you say you're a scout. He knows football because he signed their contracts.
Well, he does know how to manage the money, and in today's game, that's the key to having a winning team and having a window of opportunity to win a championship, because you got like 2-3 years, and then contracts blow up, and you can't afford to keep people together.
Great points. Then I got to do a special Pittsburgh sports line thing that doesn't happen too often. This was the first time that Smoking Jim talked seriously on how he looks at things as a scout. So, Chip, thanks for serving up the softball for Smoking Jim. You could see how he's not negative Ned all the time.
See, I didn't throw him in any chin music.
No. That hard high fastball wasn't there. That was a softball that looked like a.
Well, I didn't want to steal everything from.
Well, we're going to go to
our guest tonight, because he's got some opinions to express.
I like the interaction. Ann Harder, Penguin game next Tuesday. I'm taking Michael. All right, Chiefs watching. Paul Haley, Teresa Mariano's watching. Pete Kasich, our friend, is watching. Scoop said hello. Scoop, hello. Paul Haley, Chip. Pirates lead the Sunshine League in home runs yesterday with 45. Cruz's missiles have been flying in Florida. Yeah,
yes,
he
they have
miswrote
been.
that.
Yes.
Okay, we salute you, Paul. We appreciate it. He's a former retired Bethel Park resident living in South Carolina, and he loves our show. So, thank you. Now, what's on your mind, Mike Rohde? Your fans want to know. Your family wants to know.
Well, thank you. Yeah, shout out to my Philly family. You know, they're actually all Steeler fans, which is good.
We salute
They
you.
originated in Central PA, but they are Phillies fans, and it kind of makes my skin crawl to say they're Flyers fans.
Don't even say that on
Especially Danny, I'm
Pittsburgh
very
Sports Line.
disappointed in that I've not been able to convert you over. He's a Sidney Crosby hater. I don't blame him being in Philly. But hey, hot off the press.
You know what? I'll take a crybaby like that than what they have all day long. Sorry, it's creeping out of me.
Yeah.
Keep watching the show and listen to Mike. I'll shut up.
So, no, hot off the press. Up is down, east is west. Taxes are optional. And
What else?
elephants from the zoo just grew wings and flew to Tahiti. None of that is as wacky as what's going on down at the Steelers headquarters.
Yeah. Raging Roadie's coming out early.
We sat here a couple weeks ago, and I said, who's going to be the Steeler quarterback? You said Russell Wilson. Nick said Justin Fields. And I sat over here and said, you simple fools, you don't know what you're talking about. The Steelers don't do things like that. Come on.
What was my answer?
They don't, and you didn't answer anything. You don't want to say anything.
No, because none of them.
You were right.
I know.
Yeah, it turns out, it's Twilight
Just had to bring
Zone,
that up.
man. You know, I like the fact that they've gone out of their. It was always the Steeler way, but that's when you had Ben Roethlisberger, right? You know, and you could put in pieces around him,
Yeah.
and I think they they took a look and they said, and I still believe they've got a very talented roster, and they're going after positions that they said they're holding them back. Inside linebacker. I mean, when's the last time they signed quite possibly the number one defensive free agent in free agency?
Never.
In the prime,
Never. They never
in the
did
prime
that.
of his
He's
career.
24 years
He's
old.
24 years old.
I get a little
He's not
nervous.
34. He's
I get
24.
a little nervous that he started to excel once they brought over the other guy. The other guy from Chicago, the other inside linebacker.
Right.
And I get it. You almost have to have two really good ones. But I think Landon Roberts is he's not the Baltimore guy, but he's pretty good. And I think he'll hold his own. And I think he's really going to excel in the Buck position. They got that Buck and Mac.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just absolutely surreal. They went out of their way to do what they needed to do, and I hope they're not done because they still need a receiver. I hope it's not Stephon Diggs because they got rid of guys who were malcontents. And
Right.
Stephon Diggs is very talented, but he seems to be just always unhappy.
There's a problem.
Yeah, something up with him. But I heard somebody said Justin Jefferson.
I saw something posted on social media.
If you'd have said that to me 2 weeks ago, I would have said, ha, 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 you don't know what you're talking about. The Steelers don't do things like that. Now, it wouldn't surprise me. And you look at it, the Vikings are going to probably have a rookie quarterback.
Yes.
And, Justin Jefferson probably isn't going to be real happy. So maybe they're starting to rebuild. And the Steelers, I'd give up a number one pick for Justin Jefferson in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So, it's best
I'd give
receiver
up
in the
two,
league.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they're
Because
probably
I'd
going to
take
end
him
up.
now. You got Russell Wilson for 1 year. Imagine him throwing to Jefferson and the other
I'm going to talk about that
receivers.
later. That's going to
Okay.
be interesting. That reset.
All right, we're
of
segueing
next
to hear
year.
more.
Yeah, but I do have to give an ode to Kenny Pickett real quick because
Whoa.
okay.
You better
Every
preface
time we
this
talked
with
about
something.
Kenny Pickett, I was like, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. Always knowing in the back of my head, I hope he's the guy, right?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, and I think it's a lot with the city. It was the romanticism of the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You
Good
know, on
point.
draft day, me and Marco jumped up and down for 5 minutes when Franco Harris gets out there and calls Kenny Pickett's name. He's like, I love this. Called Kenny Pickett. Just won the ACC, first time ever.
Right.
And Kenny Pickett comes in and he excelled here and there. His rookie year, he came in the fourth quarter of that preseason game, and then he came out against the Jets, scored 2 touchdowns, blah blah blah, one thing after another. It was definitely the romanticism of the whole thing. I was there. Me and Marco were there for his first game when he came out.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Half.
Yeah.
And we were like, this
Now
is
I
it.
under why-
We're
now I
here for
understand.
the beginning of the Kenny Pickett era. And that's all gone. It's still, whenever I see Kenny Pickett's no longer a Steeler, it still doesn't sink in with me. Because that was supposed to be the ultimate story. It was just supposed to be the best story. And it's a shame, regardless of how he acted. I don't care about any of that. I don't frankly care what they do off the field. It's what they do on the field. And he just wasn't there. I mean, Canada, I think, took way too much of the blame.
Right.
Because even now, Najee Harris said, he's like, everybody runs the same plays. It's how you run them, right? And and then all of a sudden they had quarterback play, and all of a sudden everybody's happy, and, the defense isn't on the field 3/4 of the game, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So, but I get it. Things just wasn't in the stars, and it's a great Hollywood story missed, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, but you know what? Kenny Pickett's, the only person that you can blame Kenny Pickett's problems on, in my humble opinion, is Kenny Pickett. He was given an opportunity. He failed miserably.
Head or body, though? Head or body, or both?
Both. I mean, he wasn't prepared to be a quarterback in the NFL. The speed of the game, he was overwhelmed. And he made a couple of good plays, got your hopes up. Last year in training camp, he had five series, and he looked really good. And then he played the 49ers, and I was like, this guy can't play quarterback.
I don't hold
and that was in the
against
first
someone.
game.
I mean, if they can't play, I don't hold it against them. He's not the first
I
guy.
mean,
Look at Huey Richardson.
Everybody
right?
wants to look. Everybody wants to look and point a finger and blame
I'll
it
just
at
clarify
somebody.
it.
I'm pointing a
I'm
finger
not
and
a-
blaming him.
Yeah, I mean, technically, he failed at the position.
Well, in this day and age, everybody says you're either a hater or something. I'm not a hater. I'm a realist.
Yeah,
I saw him play at Pitt. It's not the same caliber of teams in college. And I tell people, I don't watch the draft. I don't care who they draft. I only talk about it on what they bring here because they're a billionaire team.
Just the eye test.
Yeah, so
What do I
that's what
see?
I'm getting to. Chip knows it's what I see out there. When I saw he couldn't see half the field because of coaching and offensive line, and then he couldn't overcome it in most games. And when you're good in the last 2 minutes of the game, I always say in sports, you'll appreciate it, the lucky teams always win.
Yeah.
The best team doesn't always win. So he got lucky. And I mean that seriously. He showed some skills. He showed some, taking hits. But Mason showed what it's like to be a quarterback in a pocket and step up in a pocket that's falling apart. And look at how the
Poise.
offense thrived.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a running game because you didn't have 8 guys in the box.
That's right.
So, I mean, these are all the things. Hey, you're allowed to be wrong. I'm wrong plenty of times. But I nailed it with Kenny Pickett. Chip and I both said it from the beginning because of our eye test.
NFL,
what we look at with the speed of the game, when you have 320-pound guys running 4.5s or 4.6s, guess what? That's faster than they saw in college with most of the games.
See, in the NFL, you've got to be a pocket passer if you're going to succeed, unless you've sickly talented like Lamar Jackson. And
Right.
then
Then he's a choker in the playoffs.
Wait, no, then you'll perform well in the regular season, and then choke in the playoffs.
Oh, I got a choke here. Oh, no, that was great. Thanks for putting it out there. You admitted you were wrong and you were living the dream. You and Marco, but guess what? Did you have fun doing that
Well,
for a while?
Oh, for sure. And
That's
but
what
like
I'm
I
getting
said,
at.
It was
Sports
the
is supposed-
romanticism
Yeah.
that I really wish it would have worked out. You know what I mean? Because it just would have been really cool.
Did you go to Permanis with the jersey? You can't even make a jersey. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
I was going to get a T-shirt and put a big number 8 on it. Say, "Give me a sandwich."
All right. Chief said Powers Johnson, a center who's 6 foot, 340-pound monster
Oregon.
from Georgia, and Mims should be.
Powers is from Oregon.
Yeah, Powers. Yeah. Then he said from Georgia, Mims
That's
should
the
be
guy I like.
considered in the draft.
Cooper DeJean.
All right, we got all that.
Yeah, that's right.
Glad we got that stuff out of the way. What's on my mind? How can it not be? They've been talking about quarterbacks for 2 years now. So now Chip liked it. I posted that maybe we can talk more about quarterbacks. I'll go to get rid of Open Door Moore because his work ethic is great, but he's an open door to getting sacks. And once in a while he blocks on a run. And then we're getting a new center. He'll be better than Green and whoever the last guy was, Cole.
They got 2 quarterbacks that can run now.
Well, yeah, and I'm hoping they don't need to. That's what I'm hoping. So
The lineman won't catch him.
Ralph Williams got a report. He got his inside scoop. Darius Mims pulled a groin in the combine. Don't go to the combines like Marvin Harrison didn't go. He knows something.
He faked that. He didn't want to run again.
I think that whole combine thing is so ridiculous. It's like you got 3-4 years of tape on these guys, and you're going to make a decision on them running a 40 and how much they come on. I never
20,
understood
25
that.
reps.
I never understood that.
You
Sorry,
need the
God.
20. No, that's cool.
The main reason they do the combine, that's all. All the other stuff is for sure.
He's
It's the
serious
medical.
today, so listen.
It's the medical. They want to get that medical.
And then they want to do the psychological evaluations of these guys.
The
And
Wonder
then,
Lick
and then
test.
see if they can pass a drug test.
Well, Smoking Jim, the Wonderlick is serious, and I'm serious you wouldn't pass it.
No, I wouldn't. I
No,
wouldn't even take it.
well, that's why you wouldn't pass it. They go next.
You'd wonder what he was licking.
No, all right, it's a family-friendly show. We're going fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds.
Wow, this is a bonus for Chance and some of the other young guys. In 2021, there was some quarterbacks taken in the first round and the second round. Second round was only one quarterback, Tampa Bay, Cal Trask. He's a bust. Mac Jones was in the first round, the 15th pick, a bust. Justin Fields is already traded. Trey Lance, the third pick overall, is a bust. Zach Wilson, the second pick overall, is a bust. And the only good one is the first pick overall, Trevor Lawrence. And I say that to say this. I took a lot of heat in 2011 when I predicted.
Hold it. You were talking 2021. You're
this
doing
is
the time machine.
Yeah, this is 2011. I did that a bonus for Chance. But in 2011.
He appreciates it. He doesn't see the smoke screen, though.
In 2011, I took a lot of heat when I said probably the greatest athlete to ever play quarterback in college football history would be an NFL bust. And that was RG3. RG3 at one point halfway through the season had more touchdown passes than he had incompletions. He won the Heisman at Baylor. He was a track All-American in the 110, 330s, and 400-meter hurdles. This guy was a phenom. He could run. He passed for 4,000 yards. He ran for 700 yards, 37 touchdowns. This guy won every award you can, including academic All-American. He had a 3.7 GPA. He was a can't miss. He was the second pick overall. And the reason, and did good as a rookie. And the reason.
Oh, did you not like him because he's smart and athletic?
Pardon me?
He was. That proves it. He was smart and athletic.
This is the reason.
I know you're against that smartness.
This is the reason why I predicted, because I had to put on my Dr. Frazier or Dr. J hat and evaluate, because I don't just evaluate a guy physically. I evaluate everything about him, and I said RG3 reminds me of another great one, Cordell Stewart.
I knew you were going to say
And I said, these guys never been booed a day in their life. Every quarterback gets booed, from Peyton Manning to Brett Favre. They wanted DeBerg for New England instead of Brady. I knew he didn't have the mental makeup, just like Cordell Stewart, from the neck up. His second year, once they start booing him in Washington, he shriveled up. And that was the difference. That's why I predicted. That's what I said in my draft report. Soon as he gets booed, he'll shrivel up just like Cordell did, because they've never been booed before and they didn't know how to handle it.
Do you give no credence to the fact that the coaching staff allowed him to play on an injury that he should not have been playing on, helped to ruin his career?
I seen Joe Namath go to the Hall of Fame with 2 bad knees. I mean, injuries is part of the game. He couldn't overcome. That's just another thing that he couldn't overcome. And that's maybe the problem with Kenny Pickett going full circle. Kenny Pickett, I think, was crushed when the fans that loved him at Pitt in Pittsburgh started cheering for Mason Rudolph. I think that broke his heart, and he couldn't overcome. Yeah. And it probably might kill his career, because sitting a year behind a Hall of Fame quarterback and learning from Russell Wilson and having both of your wives hang out together, 2 beautiful wives, and then maybe inherit the job afterwards, like you guys have said, going to Philadelphia, which I love Philly, and they're going to do good with Saquon Barkley. But going to Philadelphia now, you're putting yourself as a career backup, and it's going to be hard to get a certain job.
You sure it wasn't Deontay wanting Mason to be starting a quarterback? That crushed his spirit.
Do you remember who Washington took in the 4th round?
Yeah, my guy that I love, a 4-time team captain at Michigan State, and is playing for the Atlanta Falcons right now.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins was a natural-born leader. 4-time.
Everybody said, "What are you doing drafting Kirk Cousins after you draft?"
Yeah.
Well, I go on the record.
Kirk never blinked.
That's right.
He just put his head down and kept competing and kept competing.
And then Kirk has also banked $415 million.
Chip.
And he's won 1 playoff game in his career.
Chip, last week I saluted Kirk Cousins for working the franchise system better than they thought it should work.
Well, yeah.
He worked it, and then he's recovering from the injury that stopped. Who's the crybaby? We don't mention his name. But he's coming back from an Achilles injury, and he got $180 million.
Right. But you think,
I salute him.
You know, if he gets $400 million for every playoff win he gets, imagine if he goes on a roll this year. He's gonna own an NFL franchise.
Chip, you're on fire. All right, Smoking Jim, thanks for that. And
Dr. J.
Well, you're like an amateur psychologist. You're an an amateur relationship, men and women type of guy. You're trying to bring all this stuff together. And then for all of you out there, he graduated with Gateway, and we don't know what his
He graduated
GPA
with a PhD.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when somebody scores like 3.7, there's a guy that was under 2.
Yes, I was.
So, I mean,
Right around 2.
So that shows me that he has no respect for intelligence. And it's all a good feeling. And he was right this one time. So we'll move to.
Don't worry. He'll make sure he reminds you.
I know. Well, we're in our 13th year. We'll go another 13 before he does it again. So we're going to go to trivia time with Chip Hayner in 10 seconds.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Not much on the trivia front today. We're 2 weeks, this Friday, 2 weeks from Friday. Pirates home opener.
There you go.
I will be there at PNC Park, rooting on my Pittsburgh Pirates. They're 11-13-1 in games that don't even matter, that they're not even trying to win. And as Paul Haley stated, the balls are flying out of Lacombe Park.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Leading the league in home
dig
runs.
the long
and
ball.
what does all of this mean? Absolutely nothing.
This is our baseball guru saying
Because
that.
in 10 days, everybody's 0-0, and the season starts over. But some interesting things have been going on in baseball. And if you notice, some of the largest free agents that are out there have signed for significantly less than what they were demanding. And I think Scott Boras, I think we maybe need to start a GoFundMe page for him.
Right.
Because he had Blake Snell, the Cy Young Award winner in the National League last year, signed a 2-year, $62 million contract to go play with the Giants this year, and he was looking for $280 million, and everybody balked at his asking price. Cody Bellinger signed for less than what he went. But I want to show you why teams are hesitant to overpay for pitching in Major League Baseball. I'm going to give you 5 first-class starting pitchers. I'm going to tell you what their salaries are for this year.
Okay.
And I'll let you know what their status is going into the season.
And how old are they?
Well, you got Max Scherzer. We've heard of Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
Multiple Cy Young Award winner. He's going to get paid $43 million this year. He's injured. Not playing. Justin Verlander.
Ooh.
$43 million. And he's injured. He's not playing. Jacob deGrom, $40 million. He's injured. He's not playing. Garrett Cole, last year's American League MVP or Cy Young Award winner, $36 million. He's not pitching. He's injured.
At 33, a bad arm.
Steven Strasburg, $35 million being paid this year. He's retired. So,
well, they're comparing Skeens to Strasburg.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing with Paul Skeens.
So carry on.
Just
wanted to bring that up.
Paul Skeens is going to start the season where he belongs in the minor leagues, learning how to pitch in a 5-man rotation, which is something that he never did in college. And he's finding out. And I read a quote from him that the batters that he blew his fastball past in college, major league hitters can catch up to him. They can time those. So, it's a matter of him learning how to pitch and learning how to pitch every 5th day. What do you need to do? It's going to take some time to condition him. I believe that he'll be up this year. I would expect to see him probably by about June or so.
Right.
And the Pirates are going to be just fine. They don't have a 5-man rotation ironed out yet.
I couldn't ask that question. I was ready.
Other than Mitch Keller, starting the first game. There's a lot of question marks, but you know what? They're still winning games with the pitchers that they're throwing out there. And, they've solidified the outfield positions by signing Michael A. Taylor, who won a Gold Glove in 2021, and he hit 21 home runs last year. And they're going to move him into center field. They're going to move what's the guy's
Reynolds.
name? No. They're going to move Brian Reynolds over to right field, and Jack Sawinski is going to move him to left field.
Okay.
Jack Sawinski can cover more ground than Brian Reynolds can, and that's going to be a pretty solid outfield for the Pirates to run out there. Run out there every day. The infield, the left side of the infield, set with O'Neill Cruz and
he's
Brian
hitting.
Hayes.
Ever since the end of the year, I have to say, the change that his batting coach did for him, whatever coach he had, he made a huge difference in his whole batting style, and he has power.
Right.
For a big guy, to see him actually have power means something in this day and age.
Yes, it does. And, the Pirates have got a tandem of Connor Joe and Rowdy Talese at first base, a right-handed, left-handed combo. Second base, we don't know about that just yet. Nick Gonzalez, Peguero, and Troiolo all have performed well so far this spring. So, the Pirates are going to be great. The thing that I find interesting, and the person that I didn't think was going to be on the opening day roster, might be behind the plate, and that's Henry Davis.
Yeah.
Because of an injury.
He hit his way in.
To Yasmani Grandal. Okay, so they've had to play Henry Davis, and he's getting the reps behind the plates that he needs, and his bat plays. He's been hitting the ball hard.
That's what he did
He's
in
been driving
college.
in runs.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you this year, it's going to be a fun year to watch the Pirates play.
Hold it, Chip. Let me preface it. Every year for Chip is a fun year.
Hey.
I'm a frustrated Pirate fan because I see the fun, but I don't see what I saw back in 79.
62 and 100.
13 years I've been a season ticket holder, and I'm looking forward to every trip I'm taking down to PNC Park
I
this year.
appreciate it. Chief said, great job, Chipper. Our longtime friend Jim Auger, we salute you. He said, what a panel. Hello, fellas. Lord, nice to see you, Jim. Ron Tepper said, Mims played the right side. He's our NFL draft guy. Never the right side, never really.
J.C. Latham played the other side.
Yeah, he said never really tested on the left. So thanks, Ron Tepper, for that. Paul Haley, you confirmed what Chip said. Weren't the Steelers undefeated in preseason last year? What is it good for? There's a song, Absolutely Nothing, about war.
That's it.
So
Means
war's one
nothing.
of my favorite songs. What's it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
62 and 100.
Well,
That's what it's good
you
for.
bet on it again, Smoking Jim. You lost when they didn't lose 100 games, so our degenerate gambler made his pick. What do I tell you? Don't start betting, but if you do bet, do the opposite of my BFF, Smoking Jim. I can't get a winning bet this week. All right. Well, we're winding down. I better get to Raging Roadie time for his relatives. Take as long as you want. Just close me out with a short close. So
Gotcha.
we're good.
I think I'm on. I got multiple countdowns going on here. That's
Thanks, everybody.
That
We
makes it
appreciate it.
interesting, keeps us on our toes. So,
Yeah.
Henry Davis, it's going to be very interesting when he runs out of the tunnel on opening day in 2027, catching for the Los Angeles Dodgers. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I don't usually like to talk about the same sport twice in the same show, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because of all the
Well, you got
Steelers
2
stuff
weeks in
that's
a
going
row,
on.
so go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, what I think is going to be interesting with the quarterback situation in several different folds. I do think that Russell Wilson is going to be able to play at least as well as Mason Rudolph did. And I think if they do that, they're probably an 11-12 win team, to be honest with you.
Wow, you heard it here first.
Things come, go, but he's not going to be asked to do everything because they've got a great running game. The
Yeah.
line's going to get better. They're going to get another receiver. And look at that defense now.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to do everything. And let me tell you something. The other kid, Justin Fields, you heard it here first. He's going to score 15 touchdowns this year, not even starting. You know why?
like that.
Every time they get inside the 10-yard
I like
line,
that.
half the time, he's going to be in there.
like that.
Give me that guy.
Wow, you heard it here
from
first.
the 7-yard line.
Raging
three
Roadie's on
cracks
fire.
to run it into the end zone. I'll take that bet all day.
Yeah.
I'll take that bet all day. Here's the problem, and I hate to be a bummer, but I can't help it.
Okay.
neither of them are under contract after next year, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, they're like, well, they're not going to pick up Fields' fifth-year option, obviously, right? So he's a free agent.
Right.
And Russell Wilson, all I keep hearing of, oh, well, there's an understanding that they're going to extend. Well, those are the same people who said they've got full confidence in Kenny Pickett 2 weeks ago.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sorry, they can talk all they want now, but what if Russell Wilson comes in and throws for 30 touchdowns? Yeah. And all of a sudden somebody like, I don't know, Tennessee, I'm a bad example, but somebody
Carolina
walks in and says,
Carolina will throw $1 billion at him.
Here's $40 million a year. The Steelers aren't going to. So I forget I said that. I'm just going to enjoy.
All right, wipe the tape clean.
Just going to enjoy what we have now, and because I think it's going to be enjoyable. I think once we get this Penguins sludge kind of off of our plate, I do agree the Pirates are going to be very, very exciting. And then we're going to slide it right into the Steelers season. I think we've got a pretty good 2024 sports to look forward to.
I have to announce, Raging Rody, you did a 180-degree turn on us from where you were to where you are now.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It's funny what a couple of weeks will do.
Well, especially moves during those weeks.
Right. I wasn't very raging this week, but I don't have much to rage about.
Wait.
I'm done talking about the Penguins. There's nothing else you can say.
Chief goes, someone is raging.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Penguins are down 1-0 at the end of the first.
There's a shocker.
That ain't bad.
Well,
that ain't bad.
I told a couple of my friends, somehow we got Sydney when we had the number 1 draft pick in the NHL. Now when you're in the top 10, they do a lottery for the top pick. So all we got to do is lose to get in the bottom 10.
Here's what's ironic.
Get some
this
potential.
Last little push they're doing, playing about 500 just to keep it, that's going to cost them a number 1 draft pick. Because that pick for Eric Carr, that's going to go to a number 1 if they get like a certain amount of points or a certain
good point.
Yeah, so they're kind of killing themselves here by getting into they're not even going to get in. Even if they did, they have to play Florida. They're going to get swept in 2 games, not 4. It's going to be so bad they're going to call it after 2 games.
Well, here,
then they're going to miss out on the
Let me give you
draft.
my theory on how they do it. They don't take Jari out until they have to during the game, and they play him for every game the rest of the season. Because he's been inconsistent even though he leads the league in shutouts. If you bet it all on Jari for the end of the year, you'll be in the tank. Just in my opinion.
Well, not much choice they have.
It's simple.
It's healthy.
Well, the problem they have, and more than anything else, too much money wrapped around too few players.
Four players.
And they've all got non-movement clauses, so they're handcuffed by them.
They're going to all be here next year.
And so
there won't be much of a
that's
change.
the reason why they couldn't afford to keep Gensel.
Yeah.
Exactly they couldn't extend Gensel because then what are they going to do? They're going to have to bring in high school kids to play, and they're not going to be able to afford.
And they could have put some good two-way players around Sid for that.
And then, this is all. Rutherford is the one that mortgaged the future, gave up all their draft picks, and signed these contracts. Dubas came in. Now, I signing Carlson. I questioned that move when it happened.
Well, we're going to have to start winding it down. 10 seconds for On Location. Got a couple to talk there. All right, On Location. We had a great On Location at the Grand Hall at the Priory. Michael Mariano did a great job. His mother tuned in right now so I can compliment him. His dad's right here. And just an amazing night. It was an international show in Ireland. We had more views. We had 1,800 views since we've been streaming. That's the largest we've done. Michael filled in for Nick, who was doing something else in Bethel Park with the high school. So we're glad to have him. Next, this Friday night, we're at Northway Christian out in Wexford. We're doing Golden Gloves fights there, so Michael's back with us again there. We have April 27th, Cherry City Fire Hall with Ray Schaefer Boxing Association. Golden Gloves there, and we got a couple other Golden Gloves coming up, so we're happy about that. I want to thank Johnny for here. Chance has been here for, I think, a month. We salute you. Marco's in there. Michael, thank you guys. Thanks to the panel. Stay Joey strong.